Exciting news surrounding Clemson's historic March Madness run to national news, including the details of Alex Murdaugh trial. Also, new discoveries of ancient ships that relate all the way back to the stories from the Iliad. News locally to internationally, this is Clemson News Now. Yeah, do not peek around. Thank you for joining us. I'm Harper Krubel.
And I'm Alex Alonso.
If there is one word to describe Clemson men's basketball season this year, it would be historical. The Tigers defied the odds and etched their names in Clemson basketball lore forever. While the outcome of the Elite Eight game wasn't exactly what the fans had hoped for, it was still an incredible run. Their 21-point win over 11 seed New Mexico in round one was their second largest victory margin in program history in the tournament. 2 days later, their upset win over 3 seed Baylor in the round of 32 led them to becoming the first Clemson team since 2018 to reach the Sweet 16. They topped the 2 previous performances with an upset win over 2-seeded Arizona, earning them an Elite Eight appearance for the first time in 44 years. Tigers in downtown Clemson showed their immense support as the streets were flooded with excited fans chanting and celebrating. In their final game, even with Alabama raining threes, the Tigers came within 7 points from reaching their first ever Final Four. Although this may be the end of the era in Clemson basketball, I would still believe and hope for another tournament appearance next year.
This past week, Guy Rivera was indicted for first-degree murder of NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. On March 25th, Diller and his partner pulled over Guy Rivera's car and repeatedly asked him to roll down the window. The officers resorted to forcing the door open, and Rivera fired a shot into Diller's stomach, which was fatal. If convicted, Rivera could spend life in prison without parole. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz stated, "The killing of a New York police officer strikes at the heart of the city and rattles any sense of security in a civilized society." Over $1 million has been raised for the family of Jonathan Diller. Money has come from many New York Islanders and small businesses. The most notable donor was Dave Portnoy and his company Barstool Sports. Portnoy personally doubled Barstool Sports' donation to a whopping total of $1.5 million going to the Diller family. While money is no compensation for this loss, it is heartwarming to see so many people come out and show their support and condolences.
Greek Week is back, Tigers. This week-long annual event is here from April 8th to April 12th. Greek Week is a celebration of all of the Greek organizations on campus that contribute so much to the university, as well as their respective philanthropic charities. Fun events will be held all week on campus for students to enjoy and take part in. Some of these include a snow cone truck, a dunk tank, Chick-fil-A breakfast at the Quad, basketball tournament, giant pong competition, insomnia cookie gathering, and more. There will also be a blood drive taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. in front of the Tillman Hall. With all the events planned around campus and downtown, it's safe to say that Greek Week is sure to be a hit.
Continuing on with university news, Daniel, how's Clemson athletics been looking this week?
Well, Alex, it has been a huge week for Clemson sports, most notably our elite men's basketball team. Clemson went head-to-head against Alabama in a battle for a Final Four spot, which would be a first for either team. Clemson Hoops had a huge and historic Elite Eight game versus Alabama. The Tigers came out hot, leading by as much as 13 early on. The Tide roared back, securing a 5-point lead after the first half. Soon enough, it was a back-and-forth battle as both teams would continue to trade big plays. Ultimately, it was Alabama's high-flying offense and Clemson's free throw woes making the difference, as the Tide took the contest 89-82. The Tigers' historic run ended in Los Angeles, but with many players returning, the future is certainly bright for Brad Bennell and company. Clemson baseball is proving they are arguably the best in the nation with another series victory at Miami last weekend. Aiden Knack has been playing nothing like a freshman this season, closing the series with 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, and 0 runs in 7 innings pitched. The Tigers remain at number 2 in all polls following the series victory against the Canes. Clemson softball is back to winning ways after a 5-inning series finale versus Boston College. Following a dominant shutout on the mound, Reagan Spencer was recently named ACC Pitcher of the Week. Her 5 strikeouts helped lower her ERA to 0.7, which is 4th in the nation. Up next for the Lady Tigers is an in-state battle versus Furman at McWhorter Stadium. Track and field is in full swing as the Tigers smoke the competition at the Texas Relays. Both 4x800-meter relay teams stood out, with the men securing first and the women securing second. Clemson has continued to show their mid-distance prowess this season, headlined by the likes of Tyrese Roden, Gladys Chepnegtich, and now the return of Amon Thornton. After a weekend off, the Tigers take their talents to Gainesville, competing in the Tom Jones Invitational April 12th. Back to you, Harper.
In more serious news, last Monday, former lawyer and convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh was sentenced to 40 years in prison for committing 22 financial crimes between 2011 and 2021. Murdaugh is already serving 2 life sentences for taking the life of his 42-year-old wife, Maggie, and their 22-year-old son, Paul. Some of the crimes Murdaugh pleaded guilty to include 3 counts of wired fraud and 14 counts of money laundering, totaling at least $6 million from clients he represented in court. 25 people have been identified as victims of Murdaugh's financial crimes, and most of them did not want to relive their courtroom experiences. Murdaugh's reasoning for these crimes was that bad land deals and his addiction to opiates created a decade-long cycle of borrowing and spending that left the family on a bad financial footing.
This past month, researchers have found a new discovery thanks to an unexpected outlet of information. The National Hellenic Research Foundation and the Ministry of Culture use stories and maps from Homer's Iliad to locate ancient shipwrecks that have never been found before. They date as far back as 3000 BCE and include shipwrecks from the classical period, Roman times, medieval era, and more. In total, it covers more than 5,000 years of history. Many artifacts from Spain, Italy, Africa, and Asia Minor have been found by divers and research teams. An 11-minute documentary of the discovery has been published on YouTube. The film is called Diving into Ancient History. Moving on to weather. Evan, what can we expect next week looking like in Clemson?
Well, Tigers, as we move into spring, our weather continues to improve. This week, the temperatures will be pretty consistent with highs in the mid-70s and lows in the mid to upper 50s. However, we will begin to see some of those infamous April showers this week with rain on Tuesday and possibly some sprinkles on Wednesday and Thursday. As well, we should hopefully help to keep the pollen down. The clouds will clear for the weekend, leaving us with sunny skies and a slight increase in the temperatures with highs in the upper 70s. We definitely have some great weather days coming up, so be sure to get out and enjoy as we wrap up the last few weeks of school. That's all for now in the weather department. Back to you, Alex.
Well, speaking of the last few weeks of school, let's take a look at how much longer we have until the end of semester. We only have 25 more days until the end of final exams. And as far as school days go, we have 3 more weeks, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes will meet 9 more times, and Tuesday, Thursday classes will only have 6 more classes until the end of semester. June 21st, the first official day of summer, is now 74 days away. Arguably the best day of all, the beginning of Clemson's football season, is just 145 days away. We're almost there, Tigers. You can do it. Good luck on all your exams. That just about wraps it up for our episode here today. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for future episodes as we bring the semester to a close.
I'm Harper Krubel.
And I'm Alex Alonzo. Clemson News Now.